The UFC was hoping to be one of the first professional sports to return, with Dana White vowing to secure tribal land and even a private island to host the fights on. But this past Thursday, White had to cancel the upcoming fight UFC 249 due to the coronavirus. I was able to speak to St. Louis native and former welterweight champion Tyron Woodley about how he's adjusting to life more at home and what's next for UFC.
For me, I usually travel every week. I'm on a flight probably at minimum two times, but like sometimes 3 or 4 times a week. I travel every week, and that's just where I make my income at. I own a gym in St. Louis and Brentwood, so luckily during this quarantine, I can train in my gym here. And they got like a little cardio thing set up back here, so a workout gym in there. And then I have my own personal gym that's closed at this point. So we just go in there, clean, disinfect it before we go in. We clean on the way out, wash our hands, and it's only us. So that's kind of been a blessing. It's just the family time itself. Like I kind of brought dinner back to the dinner table. It's just like praying before we eat and stuff like that. Because before I was just in such a rush. You know what I mean? It was like, what do you want to eat? What do you want to eat? And it was like a chef, quick chef, and it was really no family time. So now it's a lot of family time, trying to get some order, chores. That way when we come out of this pandemic, we keep some of those good values going on.
And so since yesterday, a lot has changed in the UFC world. At first, Dana White had set up where you guys were going to fight on a tribal land and then hopefully a private island as well. But as we know, that has changed as of last night. So what did you think of the news, and were you a little surprised that it wasn't able to happen as well?
I wasn't surprised. The only thing that surprised me is that if the people from ESPN and Disney felt this way, they wanted to basically ask him to stand down and put on this event, they probably have been feeling that way for weeks. As he's been talking about it, as he's been setting it up, and it just surprised me that they were waiting until almost a week out from the fight to get put in the call. I think a lot of people didn't think that he could pull it off. And the thing about Dana is he prides himself on doing the undoable, and he just wants this badass mantra. So it was really more so for him to show that he can do it. All the other sports are shutting down, but he and the UFC were going to, stand up to this, and they were going to do it differently and get creative. So a lot of people didn't know that I wasn't featured on the bout, like the actual card, but me fighting on that card was still an option. It was still, a possibility. So I was training as if I was fighting on the 18th of April. So when I saw it, though you don't see me on the promo, so I wasn't on the flyer, it kind of took a hit in my stomach too, because I've been training literally for 4 months. I did a pre-camp, which is my first time doing that in Thailand. Then I had a full training camp. Then my fight was the first fight card, March 21st, that was canceled. Then I basically stretched that camp out and just try to keep adding to that. So hopefully fight a month later, April 18th. Then that got dropped, and now we don't know when we're going to fight again. So I have mixed emotions about it.
Has it been tough for you? Because I'm sure it's been a while since you haven't been able to fight. As you said, you've always been on the go and just constantly traveling. So is that something that's kind of tough for you right now, is not being able to fight at this moment?
What was good for me is that I'm a spiritual person that I just try to listen. And I've been so distracted with life and distracted with society and being around so many people, so many different mindsets and ideologies and energy. And like I've been around so much that I haven't been able to hear clearly. So this has been a time where I've almost been forced to sit down. When you training and you dieting and you running and you conditioning, you're almost fasting borderline. So as I was getting my body and my mind ready to be like, fuck this, I'm just going to say forget it and just, eat a whole bunch of crazy food. I just kind of felt my spirit that it's like, no, this is your new normal. Like this is what you have to do. Until you retire from this sport of mixed martial arts, you're going to train like this. You're going to run like this. You're going to condition like this. You're going to eat this way. Yeah, now I can lighten up. I can have some cheese or, some ice cream or whatever I want to do that I hadn't been doing. But in overall scheme, this is what you do. This is your job. And don't change that. Stay on it. So last night, even after announcement, I went back up to the gym to do the second workout. This morning, I worked out before I ate breakfast. So I'm going to just try to keep it so my body just get acclimated to this is what it does. And when I actually get a fight announced, it's not like I'm going to ramp up training crazy. All I'm going to do is just kind of tunnel it in and specify strategically train for that particular person.
And Dana also said yesterday that even though that this upcoming event got canceled, he knows that UFC will be one of the first professional sports to come back. How much do you believe in that? Because like you said, Dana, whatever he says usually happens. And also too, do you hear from fans about how much they're just hungry for anything right now, but especially UFC?
You know, the thing that I know about Dan is that it's a pride thing, and he wants that, and he wants to show that the UFC we can prevail through anything, and we're a different breed. It's a different sport, and just basically some of the other sports aren't really set up like us because when you think about the group, the 11 guys on the football field, you know, the basketball teams, the baseball teams. It's one person in the octagon versus another person. So we're not like a group sport where it has to be so many people involved. And I think they basically knocked down the production team. So almost was like barely anybody there, and everybody's trying to do everything remote from different spots just to abide by, the small group or the quarantine things that are put in place. So I think that's why he can confidently say that. And when he was talking about, okay, all the guys that stepped up and all the guys that, were willing to fight, we're going to take care of you, we're going to make sure you get out of the fights. I just really hope that the UFC thinks the way that some of the other organizations have done and some of the other sporting teams, because this is what we do. We train, and yes, it wasn't our fault, it wasn't your fault, but hopefully financially they take care of us in a way that we won't be stressed out because we're not baseball. Like, you got to recognize when we fight, it's the World Series every fight. We don't get 100 games. We don't get 50, 60 basketball games. We don't get, 10 to 20 football games. We get 1 to 3 tops. So the weight that we have on each fight is a Super Bowl. It's a World Series. It's a Stanley Cup. We can't just be 56 and 40 and still make it to the playoffs. You gotta win 90% of your fights to make it to the top. So that's kind of what I hope that happens. I don't know. They haven't really said. Everything is so new. But hopefully when he was talking about a specific group of people that were willing to fight through these terrible conditions, that my name is one of the names that's in that group.